Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video. We're gonna try out this one. I have it right here. The new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This is the Nouveau palette. We are gonna do a first and a second impression, so I'm gonna do two different looks. I also have one of the new blushes here, so we're gonna try that one out and see how it is. Do some swatches, do some looks, and just see if this is a good palette or not. If this is a fun palette, or if this is a snooze pill, but I'm gonna let you know all about it in this video. And if you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, hello, my name is Angie. I am such a lover of beauty makeup. I love everything beauty makeup related, and I especially love things that are a little bit more on the dramatic side. So we are gonna see how dramatic can this palette go. That is my mission for today. Please don't forget to subscribe though, because I upload several videos a week. I bought this palette on launch at the Anastasia Beverly Hills website. As I'm filming this, I think it is available both at Sephora and Ulta. I will link a couple of places down below in case you're interested in this palette. I did put on this top because it is somewhat matching. This is what the palette looks like. As I'm filming this, I haven't touched it yet, except I dropped my tweezers in here, but I don't want to talk about that, but I will show you some swatches. I will also let you know that when I saw this palette, I initially thought of two different palettes that I thought that this was like reminding me of in my collection, and I'm just gonna let you know which ones those are as well, because the first one that I thought of was the Lust to Dusk from Colourpop. Let me see if I can just show you, like, just because I don't think that either of these palettes that I'm going to show you are actually that similar. This was just like how I was thinking. But the Lust to Dusk has this almost like bricky orange muted tones to it. But when I opened it, I realized that yes, some of those orange tones are a bit similar, but it doesn't have any of those like green khaki tones. And this one has more of the brown and the taupes and the gray tones. So therefore, it wasn't as similar as I thought. The other palette that I thought about was the new palette by Jaclyn Cosmetics. Well, the only palette by Jaclyn Cosmetics. This one has a couple of similarities, both with the bricky tone and the greens. I will say the greens in this one are leaning a little bit more on the grayy side, and the greens in the Jaclyn palette are a little bit more of actually like a moss leaning green. I will say that they are pretty similar. Of course, this one has that pop of purple. I think the problem that I had with this palette is that I didn't think it was that exciting on the eyes. I thought it was pretty basic, and I will say that these shimmers look a little bit more super sparkly, dimensional, and I also will say that there is a duochrome in this one. So just looking at this, I already feel more inspired than I do with this, even though this has more shades. And then I got a couple of comments from you saying that you thought it looked like the Tiny Marvels palette. That was a collaboration between Sydney Grace Cosmetics and Mel Thompson. Still miss Mel. And initially, just looking at these, yes, these both have a similar duochrome and they have a similar purple, but that's where I think the similarities stop. I do think that this one is more brown, pink, reddish leaning with the gold and that, and the greens are also very not similar at all. This is like a more pastel-y pea green. This one has the two khaki greens. So I don't know if I think that these are that similar, but I totally see where you're coming from. They're just very like different when you look at them. But at the same time, like how many neutral palettes with like clayey muted tones and greens do you need? Maybe not this many, let's be 100% honest, but we're gonna do two looks and we are gonna see. I also did buy one of the new blushes. I do have the blush formula from Anastasia before, and let me show you which one it is. It is not this one because it's the highlighter. Let's use that one as well. So I have this one, and it is in Latte, which is like a neutral peachy leaning, just a neutral peachy leaning beige. But I decided to get the one that was a shimmery formula, which is a more corally pink. It's called Bubblegum, right? Yeah, and it has a shimmer in it. And I was first gonna get the one that was a little bit more on the corally orange leaning side, but this one was the one with shimmer in it. So I thought we'd use the shimmer formula and see if it's any good, because I do really like the other blush from Anastasia. And I did actually also buy the foundation, and I did buy an eye pen. So we're gonna be using the eye pen as well. The foundation I have on today, I think it is like a shade too dark for me. My face is a little lighter than my body right now, but you can tell that my face is just maybe a shade too dark. I'll spend some more time by the pool this weekend, but I did buy this because I've heard so many people really like this foundation. I hate the text of the front. I think it looks so tacky. This is a lot better. this side. This side is a lot better. I got it in 300C, and I like how it looks. It looks like a satin foundation. It has a little sheen to it. Even though I've set the T-zone with some powder, it still has a little sheen. I'm also wearing the Anastasia bronzer and concealer. I will link all the things that I'm talking about and that I'm wearing down in the description box. Just wanted to try out the foundation. I will try it out, of course, a bit more further on, but just looking at it now, it looks really beautiful on the skin. It is a medium to full coverage. It was very light on the skin. It was not a thick formula, and so far I like it. But of course, I'm going to be using it a bit more and we'll see. But yeah, let's zoom in and let's start with the blush. I feel like I've been talking for forever and there are no looks have been made. No looks have been made. Let's zoom in. Okay, so just so you can see the difference, this is the new one in Bubblegum, and this is the one that I had before in Latte, and you can see that the Bubblegum is a lot more pink and also has that shimmer. Where's the cap? This is now the cap. So let's try with this one. I know that I did use, what is this? I know I used the other one. Why is it so dark behind me? I used the other one like straight on my cheek. Okay, I can tell already that I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll use it like this. Oh yeah, this works great. Just on your finger, like this. Perfect. Oh, that is really, really pretty. Huh. Okay, okay. I feel like maybe I had a little bit of powder that I had got down a little bit too far, because I only powdered my under eyes, but that could be the reason why it didn't work directly on the skin. But I mean, you shouldn't use it directly on the skin. It's just me. I'm lazy and I like when you can just draw on with a stick. Okay, so just the initial impression of this one. It definitely, you can see that it has a sheen. I don't see any like glitter. And it definitely has a color as well. That's really pretty. We'll see how that one wears throughout the day, but so far that's pretty. Let me just wipe it off on my hand. What? Next cap. Cap, cap, cap. Let's do the highlighter, and I want to use a highlighter brush. This is the one from Sigma. This is in Dripping in Gold, and I know that they released these last year, but then they never came to stores. I like using it like this. For some reason they never came to stores, but I think these are available now in stores, and they are really, really pretty. They have a very wet looking look. Wet looking look on the skin, but they are a little sparkly. Not glittery, but definitely sparkly. Like if you come in low light, you will be able to see the sparkle in the highlighters, but it also makes them super, super wet looking on the skin. I personally think that there's a difference between sparkle and glitter. I know some people think it's the same thing. I don't think that, but there's definitely visible sparkle from this highlighter in like low lights. So that is where we are right now. I think it looks really, really nice. So let's do the eyeshadow then. I'm gonna use a little bit of eye primer first. I think I'm just gonna use my normal one. I don't have the ABH primer because I think it only comes in one color and it looks to be fairly light. And not that I'm like against having a lighter primer, but I actually kind of like when the primer is even like this one, almost like a shade darker than my skin, but it's only because I don't like the bright brow bone. I'm not a person for a brow bone highlight. I don't like it. I'm thinking I want to do something with the greens. There are two shimmery greens, one that is darker and one that is lighter, and then we have this here. So I'm thinking like a smoky eye with those and just see how those are on the eyes. And then I'm thinking that we maybe should do something with this Peacock, which is a duochrome, and I want to use the Metro, which is this shade here, and see how intense that can be. So maybe I'll start with that one, and then we can do like a little accent with the Wisteria one. So I'm thinking we'll start with Metro. Why am I wearing this top when I'm not even doing the green look? I'm a dum-dum. That is extremely pretty and pigmented. Okay. Well, then I have no doubts that, wow, that is really, really nice. I'm just gonna put this in my entire crease and just blend the edges a little bit, but that is an impressive shadow. Super pigmented. No patchiness whatsoever. Very impressed. Okay, this is only one shade. I haven't even used the lighter shade to blend out with. Ma'am, that's very impressive. That is very, very impressive. Okay, you know what? Let's freaking leave it like that, and let's do the peacock one, which is this one here. That's the one that's the duochrome, and I'm gonna use it on a flat brush. Oh, that picks up like it's born to be picked up like that. Wow. But I am gonna spray it because I want it to be super opaque, but I also don't want any fallout. That's mainly the reason why I spray my shadows, because I want to get as little fallout as possible. And I still can feel like it fall. Wow, what a pretty. It's one of those, like, you know, the plummy brown to a bluish tealy green. Very, very, very impressive. And I still got fallout. I keep loading my brushes. Don't pick up as much as I did, kids. Be smart. Be responsible with your shimmers. And I'm just, you can see I'm pulling from up to down. That's my way of blending in shimmers to the crease without making it too obvious. Oh, those two shadows were meant to be together. I'm not gonna put it all the way in because I want to use, like I told you, I want to use a little bit of that purple, but I'm just blending on the edge with that terracotta shade, same brush. It's just two shadows, but it's so pretty. I did a little bit of that matte under my eyes as well, and now I'm just using a little bit. This is the Glam Light primer, and it's just like a creamy, almost white, and I'm just gonna do a little half cut crease. Just a little bit in like that, so that we can put the lavender on that and just get a little lavender moment. I think that that's fun, and maybe I'll do a little bit just with a pencil brush. There is a shade that's called Paloma. Is that how you say it in English? I think it's like a whitish beige matte. It seems very pigmented, and I'll do that in my inner corners. Does this have any shimmer to it? No, I think this is a matte, or maybe there's a slight sheen to it, but it really works good in the inner corners. This is the look, and I gotta say I really like it. For being like, for my perfect look, this will be a little darker in the outer corner, but I will say I still think it's dark enough for me and for my liking. And you could also use this one that's called Muse and just deepen up in the outer corner, even though that one seems like it's a satin. Maybe I'll do that with the last look and we can see like how that looks. And also, let's be honest, Anastasia has had like a black or a dark brown in every palette that they have ever released. So if you own any of the other palettes, you'll be able to pull that into this look and just deepen up a bit, but I still like just how it is. Let's use, because I also bought this one. This is the Chroma Sticks by Norvina, and I actually bought mine in the light pink. I only have one eye pen in the light pink, and it is old and it is discontinued, so I thought I want to try out this formula, because again, this was also on sale, and I try it out in a color that I actually do not have. And if I really like it, maybe I can try out one of the other shades, because I really like a bright waterline. Okay, so that went on really good. Okay, go you. Okay, so this is the first look, and I gotta say I really do like it, and I also really like how effortless this was. Like, I filmed this in a very short amount of time. My crease only has one matte, And then I have two different like shades on my lid and one in my inner corners. I have to say, this is a really good pigmented, but also pigmented and buildable, which is my absolute favorite formula, pigmented and buildable, and very blendable, and it just looks so effortless. Really, really like it. The blush still looks super beautiful as well. I'm liking all of this. I feel like so far I am very, very, very impressed with this. I usually really do like the Anastasia Beverly Hills formula, but this matte shade and the crease could possibly be the best matte shade I've ever tried from Anastasia. With that being said, I didn't try the Primrose palette, but I did hear a lot of people really loved it. So let's get into look number 2. I'm gonna do something with the green and try and deepen it up a little bit in the outer corner, but I really like this look. I am back to do look number 2. That has something in my teeth. I ate some soup for lunch. I want to do something with the green. Okay, let's do something with this one. It's called Liberty. We are just gonna go in. I'm having a somewhat clean brush. This is the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A502, which is a really nice shape and size. And I think we are gonna try... Why do I have stuff everywhere? I think we are just gonna try to make an all green look, and I am gonna see if I can use the green shimmer that's a little darker on the outer half of the lid and the green shimmer that is a little lighter on the inner part of the lid. This is such a nice cool toned army green. My hair is falling down. New try. I like the tone of this shadow, and it is going on as nicely as that other shadow did. That orangey one that we used before. It is looking as nice. So I'm just gonna use this shadow like I used the orangey one, which is basically in the entire crease. And then I'm just gonna buff out the edges without using any additional shadow, and we're gonna see if that's possible. My neighbors are having some kind of a pool party. I get it so loud. I don't think my microphone is picking it up, but I'm like, listen, it is a Thursday and it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. So I'm blending on the edge a little bit here, and I will say it's turning a little bit muddy, but I think that it's because this is more of a cool tone green and I have a little bit more of a warmer complexion, and I also use a warmer primer. So I'm going to use a little bit of the shade that's called Fleur, which is this beigey one here, and I am just going to run a little bit of that and see if I can soften it up just a little bit. And then I'm using a little bit of the lighter one, Paloma, but I'm using very little because it is very light, and I don't really like I said, I don't really like a light highlighter for my brow bone, and I feel like this is too light for that. So I'm just gonna use a little bit to get it to not be too dark all the way up to the brows. But I feel like it's looking okay, but yeah, it's definitely a darker, more cool tone green. So if you're like me and you're used to having no problems blending warmer tone colors, but cooler tone colors don't necessarily blend into your skin tone, you might feel the same about this one. I still think it's a really nice, like, it's so opaque, like so opaque. It's just that my eye primer is more warm leaning. Okay, I feel like this is looking really nice and really like dark and smoky and lovely. Okay, so we have two green shadows. We have this one that's called Hope, that is more of like a darker olive, and then we have this one that's called Wings, and it's more like a cool toned, more like sagey, lighter shimmer. Both of these seem to be metallics. I'm gonna start with Hope, which seems very creamy. This is the darker one. I'm not gonna spray this we're gonna see how this is without spraying it. Oh yeah, it works beautifully without spraying it. What a really nice color. And this has a little bit of a more warmer tone to it. Not that it's like warm, but you can definitely, well, it is warm. You can see there's a bit of oliveness to this one. I'm just smacking it on. And then I'm gonna take the one that's called Wings, which is the lighter one. There's also a hair here, and I'm gonna put that on the inner side. Oh yeah, you can definitely see a difference that this one is lighter. There's also a little bit of warmth in this one, almost like there's a pale golden yellow undertone in both of them. That's really pretty. I love how that looks together, and it looks so good with the lip as well. What I wanted to try is that I wanted to use the Muse one, which is this like dark brown down here, and it's, I don't know if this is metallic or if it's more of a satin. And let's see if we can just pull in a little bit of that out here to define. Yeah, it's definitely the darkest shadow in this palette, but just to define the outer corner a little bit. I mean, yes, I do wish that this was matte, but like I said, if you own any other palette from this brand, you will own something that is darker. I'm gonna put Liberty on top. Like I've said, it's a trick that I've done before to make a matte seem darker than it is, to layer it on top of a really metallic and foiled shimmer. You can actually make your matte appear even darker. And I do have some fallout from that shade. Actually, quite a lot of fallout from that shade. Keep that in mind. If you use that brown metallic, it does produce quite a lot of fallout. You think you can see a little bit here. That's actually good to know. Good to know, because I'm gonna try and avoid that on the other side. And we'll see if I can get it to disappear here. But yeah, like that. I think that's actually a really, really cool eye look. So this is the eye look right now. I did add mascara and added that like light pink for my waterline. I feel like it looks really blended and pretty and somewhat like blown out. I did like drag a little bit of the shimmer to blend it together, so it's definitely not an all matte crease, but that doesn't really bother me, if I'm gonna be honest. Unless I'm doing an all matte look, I don't care if there's like a little shimmer in the matte or whatever. But if I'm doing an all matte look, I want it to be all matte. But yeah, I'm really liking how this is looking. And of course, it was a little bit easier for me to blend the orange into my skin tone than I want to blend the green one. It is always easier to blend something into your skin tone that's closer to your skin tone, not only in color, but also in undertone. But let me put on some lashes and let's have a final chat about these releases. Okay, the look is finished. This is the look right now, and I gotta say, I really love it. It's a pretty smoky, pretty dramatic look, and I was definitely able to create two very dramatic looks with this palette, and that is what I want. I want drama. I don't mind neutrals, I just want the drama. I want to be able to create contrast, I want to be able to create depth, and I definitely feel like I was able to do that. I like the Anastasia quality, and I'm still a little sad that I didn't end up picking the Primrose palette up as it came. Probably. Do you think I should pick that one up? Do you have it? Do you own it? Do you love it? Am I missing out? Should I own it? But yeah, I really like the look. I really like both of these looks. Is this gonna be my favorite palette of 2022? Probably not, because of the color story. I do prefer something that's a little bit more on the colorful side. But if you like neutrals, this is a neutral palette with a twist, and this is giving me the energy that I was hoping that the Jaclyn Hill palette was gonna give me. I like it. I think it's nice. Give me your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. We're gonna have a new makeup releases episode. Super, super excited. Also, if you're at the end, please give this video a thumbs up, because I actually filmed and edited and uploaded this video today on Thursday. So Give me a like for being a fairly hard worker today, and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!